my grinds my gears is actually Craig. Craig is my
Yep.
topic of grinds my
Yep.
gears.
I
So
had this coming.
he had it coming. He really deserved this. He does this. He did this to me multiple times. Um, and now I'm actually drawing a blank on what you did to me, but I know it got me mad. I think what you did was
You were picking me up
we were planning on hanging out at like 6:30. Okay, so this is
before the radio show.
let's lay the scene. We were gonna hang out at like 6:30 before the radio show, go over a few things. Yeah, well, Craig texted me at like 6:45, and he's like, "Hey man, would you mind coming to pick me up?" And I'm like, "Are you serious? Like, you can at least tell me that at 6:15 or something." So, anyways, we're already late to hanging out. I go pick him up, and then I'm sitting in his driveway for like 10 extra minutes waiting for him. And nothing drives me more crazy than when I say I'm gonna pick somebody up, and they're just sitting in their house twiddling their thumbs,
I was not,
showering or hanging out, talking to their roommates, or I don't know, kissing babies in the middle of the house when I'm waiting in the driveway trying to pick you up. You want to have any thoughts on it, Craig?
Yeah. A couple
defend
of
yourself
thoughts.
a little bit?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
sometimes life gives you lemons and you run a little bit behind, and that's just what happened last week.
I think that's a Socrates quote.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's, Forrest Gump said that.
Okay. Okay.
But
what's your
yeah, no,
grinds my
I
gears?
sometimes do have a problem of being a little late, so I apologize for that. I do take the blame on that one.
Nope.
Okay.
So my new segment, reflection of the week. Okay, I was thinking about it when I was at the Agora the other night, and I was seeing my reflection. in the
Okay,
Agora.
stop. I'm calling BS on this Agora thing. There's no way that you went to the Agora.
No, I swear to God, I was by the Agora looking at my reflection, and this segment popped into my head.
Okay.
So the reflection of the week, I am always late. Okay, so I know I just did a grinds my gears about you being late, but yours was more so the situation, not so being late, because I'm not a hypocrite. I
Right.
don't mind you being late.
That's
It's
fair.
like the way you handle being late. Is what bothers
That's
me. Okay.
understandable.
I am always late. I cannot, no matter how hard I try. Am I too loud?
No, you're good.
No matter how hard I try, I am always late to class. I'm always late getting up. I'm late to work. I'm late everywhere. I don't know what it is. I just got to be better. That's my personal self-reflection of the week. You don't have to do one, Craig. We can move on to your grinds my gears. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Well, David, just atoning for your sins. Good for
Yeah,
you.
it takes a big man to talk about his faults. Okay.
My grinds my gears this week, and again, for those of you who aren't regular listeners, David always has like 7 grinds my gears. He's not a happy man. Most weeks I don't even have one, but I'm walking over today. I'm like, you know what grinds my gears, and what you know what it is? People who are picky eaters.
Oh, well, that's me.
I know.
So look at that. We did a grinds my gears of each other. That's pretty impressive. Without even discussing it, not planned at all. That's pretty impressive. Okay, go ahead and elaborate.
In there might I get that there might be some chemical components to how people taste foods, and I know that you're a pharmacist, so you're probably going to pull some BS, about something that you learned in class or whatever. But my biggest thing is I think that eating food is mostly a mental game, right? Like some people complain about a texture, or they can complain about like a flavor when like it's just a texture or a flavor. Like it's just a social construct about whether it tastes good or not.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. I'm extremely. That will be my self-reflection of the week, part 2. Okay, I hate that I'm a picky
Okay.
eater. It's something that I wish I wasn't, because it sucks. It's hard to go to a restaurant and order like something very bland. You look super lame. I'm glad I have like a long-term girlfriend at this point, because it's embarrassing.
Right.
So she accepts me for my pickiness. My family's starting to accept me. My dad used to get really pissed off when like he would make
Shout
really
out
nice
Tom.
meals. Yeah, he's at the Bucks game actually.
No way. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
now listen,
Go
he's at
Bucks.
round 2 of the Bucks game. Pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, gets really frustrated when I don't like to eat his meals. He's a very talented chef, my father, so he gets really upset. And rightfully so. I wish I was not picky, and I would agree it's probably a mental thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm mentally weak, I guess you could say. I don't know. It's kind of like the 3 little piggies. It's, my mental game is not built of bricks. It's more like twigs.
Just like,
at this point.
what's your least favorite food?
Least favorite? I don't know. That's hard.
Like, do you like seafood?
Yeah, I like seafood for the most part.
Okay.
I don't like.
what
okay,
don't you like?
I don't like. Oh, I don't like a lot of that. It'd be better to ask like what I do like. But let's
Okay.
just say one thing I don't like is like cold food. How about that?
Okay, but
So I
like,
don't like cold sandwiches. I hate cold sandwiches. Like I would never go to like Subway and get a cold sandwich or anything like that. Yeah, I know it's weird. I know I'm picky. I know
you
everybody
come
at
from
home.
Wisconsin.
Just go ahead and pick your jaw up off the floor, because that's
Yeah.
just me. I'm sorry.
The heck?
I don't like cold sandwiches. I don't like cold meat, cold cheese, things like that. That's just gross.
Well, do you
It
like
gives me
warm cheese?
I actually get the
So you're like,
heebie-jeebies right
did you
now.
go to like Hy-Vee and buy some mild cheddar cheese, and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna eat this cheese. I'm gonna microwave it first. Like, no.
Yeah, well, today I actually had a chicken and cheese quesadilla. So I like cheese. It's not that I don't like cheese. I just don't like cold cheese.
It's all a mental game.
I don't like tacos either.
That is disrespectful.
That's something
that is disrespectful.
That's the one that really bothers people when I tell them that I don't like tacos. People just get really upset, it's like they're not allowed to eat tacos because I don't like it.
Okay, wait,
that's not the case.
Time out here. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
But you just went and had a quesadilla, right?
Yeah, it's warm.
What was on the quesadilla?
It's warm, and I don't put like vegetables on it.
Who eats cold tacos, bro?
A lot of people eat cold tacos.
Like obviously,
obviously the meat is warm, but like the lettuce, tomatoes.
You can warm up the shells in a microwave,
cheese,
or an oven. People fry shells too. Like, they're way better.
Well, yeah, I eat I've eaten like enchiladas, things like that. I don't really like vegetables, so anything with like a lot of vegetables is gross. So like sandwiches, tacos with all that, the whole 9 yards.
I will agree with you though for the temperature thing. This is a learning segment. We're really learning on the dog today. So, as food and beverages get colder, they start to lose flavor. So to some extent, I agree with what you're saying.
Okay, so I win.
But that's more important when it comes to beverages and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like if you have a whiskey drink and you put in ice cubes, you taste less, of the flavors.
That's because the water's down.
No, but it's also because of the temperature. Like if you put in there's whiskey stones that are rocks, and if you freeze them and you put them in, it brings the temperature down. There's less flavor.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, 94 won the dog.
Yep.
Teaching a lot of things today. Science.
Chemistry.
Okay.
History.
So that was your grinds my gears, picky eaters.
Mm-hmm.
You were also going to say another thing.
Yeah, I have a news article.
Remember the thing from last week?
No.
AirPods.
Oh yes. Oh.
Yeah, Craig got really upset over some AirPods. He was ranting for the longest time about people with AirPods, and no offense directly to people with AirPods, but it's just like I think because I agree, that's one of my grinds my gears. It's not necessarily the product or the people that wear them. It's like the overall reputation that they have. Maybe.
Yeah. So there's two reasons why I hate them. One, like Apple earbuds just don't fit in my ears. Like they just don't. So I wouldn't be able to wear AirPods even if I could afford them.
So you just want to fit in is essentially what bothers you?
But then the other thing that is frustrating is, and I feel like AirPod people are the worst with this, is I just, and you're probably, someone who does this, I know we've talked about it, but when I'm walking down the street to class, I enjoy saying hi to people, waving, hearing the birds chirping. I don't want to be listening to music when I'm walking 5 minutes to class or something like that,
Yeah.
Or I was in, went to the mall today, to pick up my suit, and I see people shopping with AirPods in or AirBuds. I just
yeah, that's where we disagree. I love shopping with headphones in. When I go grocery shopping, I love to have headphones in.
Interesting.
It's not that I'm trying to ignore everybody else, but it just makes the experience more enjoyable, I think.
Okay.
I like music.
You know, I haven't really tried that at the grocery store, so I'll try it out.
Yeah, give it a shot. I think you'll have a more enjoyable shopping experience. And the other thing that I don't like about the AirPods is when I walk around with my non-AirPods, my normal iPhone headphones with the cords, I just feel poor. I feel like everybody looks at me like, oh, dude's got wires? Gross.
Wires, you must be living in 2015.
Yeah. Have fun going back to your cardboard box, Mr. Wire guy. It's pretty upsetting. Anyways, it's a bummer here, to say the least. There's puddles. Just treacherous out there, Craig, really.
Yeah. Have you heard of the Drake Lake?
Yeah.
So the Drake, for those of you who don't know or haven't been to Drake, when it's rainy, they call it the Drake Lake because the sidewalks were not properly built, I think. There's just, they cave in a lot of places, and so it's just puddles everywhere. They just, bad drainage systems, and I know they tried to fix it 2 years ago, and it just, I think made it worse.
Made it worse, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I basically complained about it for about 20 minutes on that one episode. Yeah. I just hate walking through water. I hate when my feet get wet. I hate when my socks get wet. It's really nothing worse.
There you have it, David's positivity.
Yeah. So
always on 94 when the dog.
That's the weather. It's cold, it's rainy, it's a bummer. And there's a lot of rain in the forecast too. And the biggest part that bums me out is this weekend was supposed to be intramural softball. Intramural softball, my favorite intramural. And now it's going to be canceled. I can already see it.
Do you know if they're going to reschedule it?
I hate to be negative, but it's definitely going to be canceled.
Yeah.
And there's no really time to reschedule it with finals week and everything,
Dang, that sucks.
News segment. news headline segment. I have a couple good ones that made me giggle earlier in the week that I would love to share with you, Craig.
Awesome.
Okay, so the first one I have from WGN TV News. Woman asked husband if she was pretty, assaulted him when he didn't reply.
No way. So wait, this is
Yeah.
their husband and wife?
Husband and wife, yep.
Oh,
Initial thoughts?
man, like, that's, man, if you're married to this woman, man, I just feel like that's just, you got to just say you look pretty and smile. Like,
My guess.
he's a dumb man for not.
Yeah, my guess is they were newlyweds because he sounded a little inexperienced in that department.
Okay, but then I'm going to play devil's advocate. Like,
Okay.
I feel like most people end up marrying someone that they think is, like attractive and that they think is beautiful. And like, that's sad that that's not the case.
Yeah, I mean, you hear it too much that some people, I think, grow unattracted to their spouse. Don't you think? Like,
Yeah,
it's
maybe,
possible. But at least pretend at that point when she's specifically asking to your face.
Yeah.
But let's not ignore the fact that she assaulted him.
Yeah.
She assaulted him when he just didn't reply. I mean, he didn't say, no, you look like a cow.
Yeah.
He just didn't reply and was assaulted.
But what's worse? Like if you're having like okay, let's say you're sitting down at the dinner table. It's a candlelit dinner.
Okay.
It's it's a really romantic setting. You're like, how do I look? Would you rather him say you look like a cow or no response and just like an awkward smile?
Personally, I'd rather have him tell me I look like a cow.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's just me. I feel like being called a cow is not very fun.
Being left on red is the worst thing that can happen to you.
Yes, yeah. 500,000 bees killed after beehives attacked, set on fire.
I actually saw this one. This is sad. Yeah.
What website were you using? Fox?
I don't even remember.
This is Fox News.
Okay.
I don't know. Thoughts?
Dude, it's
Are you
sad.
a bees guy?
Yeah, I'm a pretty big bees guy.
You're a bees enthusiast?
Yeah, because I mean they're dying. So funny story. Did you ever take AP US History?
I did, yeah.
So
I got a 4 in the exam.
As did I. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers,
Nice.
mate. Our AP US History teacher after the AP test we got extra credit if we made a protest video and as a music video. So we had to like take a song and write a remix. And my friend, we took it junior year. When he was a junior, I was a sophomore. He wrote his about the bee problem. And how all the bees are dying.
Okay.
The song Black and Yellow.
Okay.
And I was like featured in that.
Nice. Yeah. I hate bees. To say that,
Yeah,
but bees are very important,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize that. I was just more of like a guy that was just like, oh, bees suck. I mean, they hurt. I have a lot of tragic stories of being a kid and I got stung in the ear, the nose, the neck, all over my body, and I've never
deserved it.
I've never messed with bees. Some kids you see them messing with bees and then they get stung. It's like, okay, kid, you had that one coming.
Right.
But I never messed with bees. I wasn't hitting them with tennis rackets or anything like that. But I got stung a lot. I don't know what it was about me being like a bee magnet, but I got stung a lot. So I just personally don't like bees. But anyways, Alex Albaugh schooled me about bees. I mean, I said something about how I hate bees, and he just laid down it must have been 6 pages, double spaced, Times New Roman 12-point font story about why bees are important to the ecosystem. So I apologize, bees. I didn't mean to be personal about it, but just stop stinging me and we can get along, hopefully.
Shout out Alex Albaugh.
I'm also a big honey guy. I do like honey, like pure honey. Here's a news title for you. High school student arrested after trying WWE wrestler's RKO finishing move on principal.
That's awesome.
That's pretty epic.
That is so cool.
I don't know if that's like a senior prank. I don't know if that's what that is, but that's pretty epic to say the least.
So funny backstory actually. I love WWE. Like that's one of my guilty pleasures is watching and following the WWE, and it's because my high school tennis team loved it. And so we would always start practice off with a fake wrestling fight. And one time to get pumped for a match, it was a home match. The team showed up late, so we just dropped our rackets and started wrestling each other. As they started walking in, they thought it was the weirdest thing ever. But I love that.
I would think that's very weird if I was walking into the gym and saw that. But hey, it's fun. I mean, trying an RKO move on your principal is a bold statement to say the least.
Right.
But there's got to be a couple times in your high school experience, Craig, where you thought about it. Maybe not with the principal, with the teacher. You ever had any?
Well, my mom's
kind of
my mom's a teacher, so I would have.
Was she your teacher?
I did have her for a class.
Ooh, Rochelle, did you give him an A? I know she can't.
She didn't
answer. I
grade
keep
it. She
asking
didn't
her
grade any of my
questions, but-
stuff. She had some. There was another teacher who did.
Okay, yeah, that
But-
seems not very fair. If she
Yeah.
was grading
Well,
your
she was
stuff.
the only one who taught that class. So, but yeah, like so if I were to, act super rebelliously in high school, there would have been consequences up the wazoo. So, at school and at home. So
Yeah, that's true. He would have probably gotten in a lot of trouble. Did I ever tell you the story when I got kicked out of tennis?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. My dad was not happy.
So what happened with that? Tell the listeners.
Yeah, I'll tell the listeners. So essentially, and I hope my listeners don't think I'm some scumbag kid. Really, I just hated being at tennis, and I had to find a way out, and this was my out. So essentially, I was at these tennis lessons, and I basically had to spit, so I spat on the court. I didn't know that was a rule, that you can't spit on the court. And I was probably in like sixth
I don't think
or
it's a
seventh.
rule. I just think that's a sign of disrespect.
You think it's disrespectful? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, I didn't think it was anything of it. I had some cotton mouth, and I just wanted to spit. I didn't have water for a while, so I mean, maybe if he let me drink something after practice, it wouldn't have had an issue in the first place. But
Fair.
anyways, that's a topic for another day. Spat on the court. He told me, "Hey, don't spit on the court, or you're out of here." Looked him in the eyes, spat again, and that was all she wrote for my tennis career, Craig.
Cracks me up every time.
Yeah, so I got sent home. My father received a phone call from my coach, and it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun experiencing that later on. So I deserved it.
Yeah, I mean, I just love that you looked him in the eyes and spat again. But
It was rude. Like looking back on it, very disrespectful. That I think I've grown as an individual since then. But like I said, I needed a way out. That was my way out.
fair. Cool.
Okay.
Pair of cows in California found wandering on the road, guided home by police.
There's not a whole lot I could do with that. I mean,
Do you think that's funny? Like,
yeah, it's pretty
like
funny.
if you're a police officer on patrol, like, what would you do if you find these cows?
I'd probably just let them go. I'd let
Yeah.
them figure it out. I
Okay.
mean, what am I? I'm not spending my day walking some cows home.
Right.
It's as simple as that, Craig. As a police officer, you have bigger and better things to do.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, that's why I asked it.
But I guess if
they're on the road, like, you don't want people hitting.
yeah. It depends how busy this. Like if they're walking through Times
Because if
Square,
they
you
hit a
definitely
car, if a car hits them, you call that ground beef.
Okay, nice little joke here on
I'm
94
sorry.
on the dog, keeping you on your toes.
Sorry for cutting you off. I just had to say it.
No, it's okay. How much do you like Nicolas Cage?
Dude. So you know how I said earlier, my guilty pleasure was WWE.
Yes.
My second guilty pleasure is Nicolas Cage.
Okay, I got a good news headline for you
Okay,
then, Craig.
fire.
So Nicolas Cage, for those of you that don't know, is he did
A
National
star.
Treasure,
Yep.
and that was his big moneymaker. He did a lot of other movies, obviously, but here's this one for you. Nicolas Cage gets married in Vegas. Nicolas Cage files for divorce 4 days later, saying he was too intoxicated to realize what he was doing. So there's your childhood hero, Craig. How do you feel now?
Hilarious. Man, National Treasure was a good movie. That's like my family's like probably top 3 favorite movies. But
Relays, am I right?
yeah, I mean, that's that's just like hilarious.
It's bad. It's bad news for Nicolas Cage and his reputation at this point. I
Wow.
gotta say.
Are you a fan?
Yeah, I mean, National Treasure is awesome, dude. I think all I can remember, like, I could tell you what happened in the first one. Weren't there multiple?
There was 2 or 3.
I think there was 3. I couldn't.
yeah.
I know I've seen them all, but I couldn't tell you what happens in the other ones. The first one is so iconic that it was. I can remember that.
One of them happened in the Dakotas. It was kind of like meh, as you would expect a movie filmed in the Dakotas, like South and North Dakota.
With like Mount Rushmore.
I think
No,
it was
that was the first one, dude. I thought.
No, there might have been aspects there, but there was other stuff in the Dakotas that they were doing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that was the second one,
Yeah.
the Mount Rushmore. Anyways, not important. How about this one? Pete Davidson drops $400 on McDonald's after Kate Beckinsale split.
That's
$400, Craig. Can you imagine that on yourself?
What do you even get?
I don't know. I think you could get one item on the whole menu, and
Yeah,
it's
could
got
you
to be under 100.
Could you buy the menu?
You think he could buy the store with $400?
No, like buy every item
No.
on the menu one time.
That's what I'm saying. I think if you buy every single item on the menu, it's got to be like under 100. Don't you think? $400, dude.
No, because if you got like all of the meals, a meal is like $8.
Okay, fair. I guess I didn't think about the meal. That'd be a lot of fries though, and a lot of soda.
Fries, a lot of McFlurries. Oh, and I'm getting hungry.
Could you imagine waking up the next day after that kind of
Oh,
meal?
no.
$400 worth of McDonald's?
Do you think there's no way he ate it all though? Like, there's no way.
Hey, as a dreamer, I'd like to hope he did.
Okay, whatever.
But that's a tough breakup if you're going to buy $400 worth of McDonald's.
McDonald's.
That's
absurd.
tragic.
Hello,
Yeah,
diabetes.
that's brutal. Let's move on to this next one. Would you rather eat no candy on Halloween or no turkey on Thanksgiving?
Dude, can I be
That's
real?
tough.
No, it's
Oh,
not
you
tough.
hate turkey?
No, yeah, I don't like turkey and I don't like candy.
Oh, dude.
As messed up as that might sound.
Did you ever like candy? Like as a kid, at least?
Yeah, as a kid I did, and I guess sometimes I have a sweet tooth. But I think there's like if I want something sweet, I'm gonna have ice cream.
Wait, what's your mom's name? Rochelle.
Rochelle.
Rochelle, did you ever let Craig eat candy as a child? Is that why? Is he deprived of candy as a kid? I mean, that might have been the thing
there's just
that
more
scared you
savory
away.
things out there.
Savory. There's nothing more savory than a nice Reese's cup. And this show is not sponsored by Reese's. I'm just a big fan.
Okay, so I guess I would say I would rather have no turkey because candy as a child was very fun, and I really looked forward to Halloween because of it. How about you?
Yeah, I could go without turkey, I think. I like turkey. It's not bad, but sometimes it can be a little dry. It can be a little bland for me. I like a little more zest to my meat, like a steak or a pork chop.
Yeah, babe, I feel you.
Yeah, so I could probably go without turkey. But if you told me I could never eat candy for the rest of my life, I mean, that's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah. Well, I feel like so. My big thing with turkey is that it's like minus the flavor, it just makes me tired, and I don't like that.
A tryptophan. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Hey, we're learning a little bit more on 94.1 The Dog. We thought we had you at just the Prohibition era time frame, but tryptophan is what makes you tired after you eat the turkey.
So and is that in like drugs, or how do you know that, or what's the deal with that?
Yeah, tryptophan is just in a lot of like a couple different foods, and it basically is sedating. So after you eat it, you're feeling a little sedated.
Interesting.
Hopefully, I have the right thing in mind, because if I'm talking about the wrong thing, I'm really making myself sound pretty stupid right now. But I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Okay, I trust you.
So let's roll with that. We'll roll with tryptophan for a while until I get told otherwise. Would you rather be the funniest person in the room or the most intelligent person in the room? And this is a nice question because currently I'm both, so that's nice. So you have to imagine in a hypothetical world, which one would you prefer?
The one thing David's leaving out, though, is he's definitely the ugliest in the room. So
yeah, but that's not part of the question. So I can live with that. That was not part of the would you rather.
Definitely, I think intelligent, because I mean, intelligent people can also be funny. I guess funny people can also be intelligent, but I probably intelligent.
I know, but you have to. All right, in this scenario, you have to pick one.
Yeah, no, so intelligent.
Okay,
intelligent.
Okay,
yeah.
how about this? It's a little twist to this. Would you rather?
Okay.
Would you rather be like a millionaire by being funny, so you're like a stand-up comedian?
Yep.
Or a millionaire being like a very intelligent, like for example, mathematician or something at Harvard?
See, okay,
and you're kind of nerdy, so I'm gonna already guess what you're gonna be, and you're gonna be the intelligent.
So
one.
no, okay, so I feel like a big part of this question. I like this. Let's unpack this. So if you're hilarious and a millionaire, like you live a very easygoing, fun life. Would you agree?
No, I would agree.
Like you probably like go out and party. You're kind of famous.
Like a Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Like you're like a celebrity, and like that's cool. John Mulaney, whatever. But now if you're super nerdy, make a ton of money because of you do some astrophysicism, psychology thing. I just made up that word. But like you do something really cool and you're really smart. I feel like you have a really different like fulfillment to your life. So your life would maybe be like less exciting, but like you find your thing, like that would be a really cool, like you've fulfilled your destiny on this earth.
Sure. And I could see where you're coming from, but think about this. If you were like a mathematician or an astrophysicist, like you mentioned, isn't their job constantly searching for more solutions or more answers to questions? So wouldn't it be less fulfilling because you're constantly digging and searching? You're basically an archeologist, constantly searching for more
that's
bones,
fair. Like ignorance is bliss, so like the less you know, the better you are. Yeah, okay, you swayed me. I'd rather be a comedian, a millionaire comedian. I don't want to know more.
That's really all I wanted is to sway you. So
you know what Socrates once said? The one thing that I know is that I know nothing, and so I'd rather be in the blind.
I feel like Socrates. Yeah, it's not a really accurate quote because he was a very intelligent person.
No, but I know, but that's why he had the depth to know that humans really in reality know nothing.
Oh, compare like on the grand scheme of things.
You can't you don't know if there's a god. You don't know like how the galaxy was formed. Like
that's a bold statement for you to say. There's no god when you.
No, I said you don't know if
two
there's
different. I know. I know what you're saying. Fair enough. I was just putting a little twist on your religion class that you're in. So
I mean, we talked about this today. That's why I brought it up.
Okay, fair enough. I like it.
Anyways, how about you?
I thought I answered.
Oh, okay.
Funniest.
So funny.
Definitely funniest. Yeah. I think you would live a way more fun life. being most intelligent would be cool. If intelligence brought me more wealth, maybe I would go with that because wealth sounds awesome. But the fact that like in this scenario they're the same, you're worth the same, like your net worth is equal.
Right.
I would go with funniest because I feel like you'd have more friends, you'd have more fans, more followers, more excitement, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
I don't know, better interests that I would be interested in. Like, I don't know. I guess if I chose intelligence, I would be interested in that kind of stuff.
Maybe we should try and become millionaire radio hosts. Maybe that's our calling.
I don't know. Yeah, I think currently we have like 5 guests, so it's going to be tough to. But it's an uphill battle.
We're working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it. This is a little more exciting. This will get the juices flowing a little bit.
Okay.
Would you rather skinny dip with your classmate or with a stranger?
Classmate or stranger? Depends on the classmate. No.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But like, that's tough.
I'd go stranger.
You would?
Yeah. Because what's the worst that happens if it's a stranger? You never see him again.
Yeah, but like, what if it's like
if it's a cold lake or something, at least you never have to see the stranger again.
That's fair.
But like your classmates are going to be tweeting about it and they're going to stand up in the front of the lecture and be like, yeah, I mean, I skinny dipped and with Craig and it was a cold lake.
So the one thing I would counter with that though is it depends on the classmate, and like it could be fun, like because part of memory, like and the fun thing about like reliving memories is to relive them with other people. So if it was like a good buddy, and like then it's fun to laugh about later. But like if they were gonna like tweet about and
yeah,
make a big deal. So
if it was a good thing, like if it was fun, like say you're jumping in a lake, fully clothed, just like for no reason, but it was a fun thing to do with your buddy. Like,
yeah,
that's a good story. Like you guys can talk about that later on.
Right.
Did I ever tell you the story about the bush?
No.
Okay, weird segue because it's like I'm talking about
bush light latte.
Like okay, so I'm at the sand dunes in Lake Michigan. There's like these really big sand dunes, and I'm there with 2 of my buddies, Zach Schultz and Braxton Jank.
Okay.
I don't think either one's listening, but that's okay. I'm gonna tell the story anyways. It's one of those stories that I could easily regret doing, but I don't because it goes down in the record books as a pretty awesome story.
Mm-hmm.
So we were there, and there was these huge bushes, and they were like really sharp, like almost desert-like bushes. And my one buddy was like, "Hey David, I bet you won't jump into that bush." And we're like running around with just swim trunks on, so we just have like swimming suits on, and no shirt and nothing covering our legs or feet. And so I'm like, "What? Come on, jump in the bush." And he's like, "Dude, it will be legendary if you jumped in that bush." So he's hyping me up. He's getting me all excited. And then I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna do it." So I jump and I belly flop in this bush. Extremely painful. Extremely painful. I regretted it while I was in the bush. I regretted it after. And my buddy Zach, he'd watched me do this. And then there's another bush, and my friend Braxton was like, "Zach, I bet you won't try to jump over that bush. This bush must have been 30 feet long." And he's like, "Dude, I think I could jump over that bush." So he sprints up to this bush, jumps, makes it about a quarter of the way through, falls in the bush. He's fully submerged in all these thorns and all this dry. Oh man, it was hilarious to see. On my end, it was not fun to be in the bush. And then the following week, I get a text from him, and he's like, "Dude, is the same thing happening to you that's happening to me?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" I look down at my arms and my back and my chest, and I'm covered in like these red bumps.
Oh.
So we're both covered in these red bumps. We called it eczema just because we didn't know what it was, and eczema was a fun thing to say. Shout out Big Daddy, great movie. What it really was, we got diagnosed with there was these bugs in the plant that like planted.
No way.
Yeah, they gave birth to their babies in our skin.
Oh.
Yeah. No. So big time regrets jumping in that bush. But at the same time, I mean, you rub some ointments on, it's gone in a week. You got a funny story to tell for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Was it an amusing story at least?
Yeah, that was a great story.